Gilded Sister by Kinda Brony. Chapter 18. Mothering. I can hardly contain myself as I sit in the foyer, watching the door intently. You know sitting won't make her get here any faster, Mom says with a chuckle as she enters. Yeah, but she's supposed to be here at noon, and that's now, and I want to be here when she arrives. A good host always greets their guests at the door, right? I reply, not even remotely persuaded from my visual. When the play date was scheduled yesterday, I had begged Mom to take me to the library so I could look for a book to enjoy with Moondancer. The two of us having agreed to have one completely new book to share with the other. With Dad taking Blue Blood to one of his friends' houses for the afternoon, it's up to me alone to entertain Moondancer, and I will not fail. Well, aren't you a proper little hostess? Mom says, nuzzling the top of my head. I preen a little as I answer, I learned from the best. I've already baked cookies for the two of you for when she arrives. No need for flattery. Mom giggles when I grin up at her, and we both end up jolting when there's a knock on the door. They're here! I cheer, jumping to my hoofs. Open it! Open it! Mom rolls her eyes with a smile but complies. I do it myself, but with no magic and being as little as I am, doors still pose quite the obstacle for me. As the doors swing open under the command of Mother Zora, I calm myself and stand straight, schooling my expression. I'm so glad you could make it. Moondancer? My greeting trails off as I see the blushing filly dressed in what I think is a blue tutu and ballet slippers. The Pegasus mare next to her smiles as my mother greets her. Ornate, sorry if we're a bit late. I've never been to this part of the city before. The lawns are simply huge, she replies, wings fluttering at her side. Mom giggles. It's all right, Stepping Star. Homes here are spaced quite far apart. Why, simply walking from the front door to the street can be exhausting sometimes. Moving aside, Mom gestures to the interior. Please, come in. As I shake off the confusion and offer my friend the same invitation, the peach-yellow mare does just that, looking around the interior slightly awed, pushing her tangerine and dusty red mane away from her eyes to get an unobstructed view. Wow, I dare say it's bigger on the inside. Must be an absolute nightmare to clean. Oh, it is. Even working alongside the staff, it can take hours, confirms my mother. Please, won't you follow my daughter and me to the kitchen? We have refreshments I'm sure you'll appreciate after the trek to get here. She nods and the two set off. Moondancer and I follow behind. So, nice dress, I say, looking after the still blushing unicorn filly. I give a forced chuckle and joke. I feel kind of underdressed now. Didn't realize we were supposed to wear clothes. And isn't that still an odd thought? Mommy made me wear it. Moondancer finally speaks. I didn't want to, but she said I should look my best. And it looks good on you, I declare, hoping to cheer up my friend. No luck, apparently. I hate it, her frown deepens. Mommy got it for me for when she tried to teach me dancing, but I didn't like dancing and the tutu itches. You know how to dance? I find myself questioning, trying to imagine the bookish filly performing ballet. What does pony ballet even look like? Maybe I can ask Class Act about it. She's been wanting to broaden my cultural horizons after all. I don't, Moondancer says. All I do is fall a lot and get sweaty, so Mommy stopped making me do lessons. Her frown deepened as she adds, but she kept the tutu and slippers because I didn't have any other dresses. Oh. Not even 10 minutes of my first play date and my guest is already having a bad time. Come on, Pure, turn it around. Hey, maybe you can take one of mine. Moondancer looks up. What? I have a few dresses. I only wear them for parties and stuff, so why not give you one? Oh, I couldn't do that, argues Moondancer with a shake of her head. Those are yours. Well, why don't we trade then? I counter, giving her get up an appraising look. Yeah, that'd work. Most of my dresses are pink, so I think a bit more blue would be nice, too. I look up at our mothers as they chat admirably and add in a whisper. Don't tell my mom I said that. She really likes me in pink. Moondancer worries her lips. I don't know. I've got some really comfy ones, I sing, tempting the filly. Just think about it. No more itchy tutu. That works, as her eyes immediately sparkle. Deal. I giggle at her eagerness, and she quickly joins in just as we reach the kitchens. Good. Playdate crisis 1 averted. Hopefully there won't be any more. Ornate was doubly happy at the moment, both for the bliss of her daughter's face as she and her friends ate their cookies with milk, and the dramatic behavior of Stepping Star. So good, she moaned around her own chocolate chip cookie. And you say you made these? The pink mare hummed in affirmation. It's the one thing I can bake better than our chef, and he's been trying to sneak the recipe ever since he realized it. Too bad for him, though, it's a family recipe. Stepping Star shook her head with a chuckle. I shouldn't be surprised you have a chef, she said. My husband would be so jealous. He's been trying to teach me how to cook for years now, but he's still stuck on solo kitchen duty until I figure out how to boil water without setting the stove on fire. Both mares giggled, even more than the Pegasus added. Really, though, I keep a cloud in the kitchen in case of emergencies. Fire extinguishers are just getting too expensive. Once Ornate caught her breath, she patted her acquaintance's hoof understandingly. Now, don't be too ashamed about it. I can barely scramble an egg without burning it before cutting board starts giving me lessons. Really, that stallion is a miracle worker. Maybe I'll let you borrow him sometime. Ed would definitely appreciate that, Star said before looking down, her daughter having approached. Yes, Moondancer? Can I get my new book? Pure and I want to go read, the filly asked, getting a slight frown from her mother. Of course, dear, but wouldn't you rather play outside some first? You can read any time, and they have such a large yard here. Moondancer glanced over at her friend, who was busy licking the chocolate off her hoofs, when she gave a shrug. Maybe later, Beige filly answered. Can I have my book? Sighing, Stepping Star nevertheless reached into the saddlebag hanging from her chair, and pulled out a decently thick book to hand to her daughter. Balancing on 3 legs as she held the book to her chest, the filly smiled and gave a quiet thank you, which Star returned with a small smile and a "You're welcome." We're going up to my room, Mommy, Pure said when she had cleared herself of chocolatey goodness. Can we have some more cookies for while we read, please? Now, Pure, you know 3 cookies is all you get before dinner, Ornate answered sternly. But reading is so much better with snacks, whined the white filly, bottom lip jutting out. Well then, I'll bring up some carrot sticks and cucumber slices in just a bit, was the counteroffer, getting Pure to flinch and Moondancer to perk up. I like carrot sticks, the latter foal spoke up, getting a look as if she had just spouted an extra horn from her head and a broad smile from Ornate. I'm glad to hear that, said the pleased unicorn. They'll be up shortly, so why don't you two get settled in? Looking at her disappointed daughter, she added, You can take 1 more cookie to split between you, since it's a playdate. Levitating the golden brown disc down from the table, Pureblood's head appeared underneath it in a flash, and she shouted a quick, Thank you, Mommy, I love you, before taking off, Cookie bouncing on her noggin. Moondancer struggled on 3 legs to keep up, and the 2 foals soon disappeared behind the corner. Rolling her eyes good-naturedly, Ornate looked at the fellow mother to see a tired smile. Is something wrong? She asked. It's nothing, Star answered. I was just hoping that being at a friend's house would finally pull Moondancer away from our books for once. But I suppose I shouldn't be surprised that's not the case. From what my daughter has told me, your little filly is quite the little bookworm as well. Yes, Ornate confirmed, though she also enjoys her time in the garden exercising with her grandfather and brother, to my occasional worry. My father-in-law can be a bit intense at times, but he has been getting better. Really? Stepping Star leaned forward, eyes slightly wide. You must tell me your secrets. Ornate snorted into a short bout of laughter. What? I've been trying to get Moondancer interested in something other than books for nearly a year now, but it's impossible, Star explained, suddenly waving a hoof. Don't get me started. I'm glad she enjoys them. She's a little genius, and I couldn't be prouder of that. It's just, I worry. I've tried getting her to play with other fools, but before your daughter, she just wasn't interested in their games. Not to mention her health. Spending all day inside reading might be good for the mind, but not so much for the body. I'm already worried she's going to ruin her eyesight, she continued, picking up her cold tea and taking a sip. I love my husband dearly, but darn it all if our daughters haven't taken after him in the most frustrating of ways. Ornate drank some of her own tea, listening to the mare. She may not have known Stepping Star and all that well yet, but she could understand the need to vent once in a while. You have another daughter? Does she go to a different school? Asked the pink mare. Oh, yes. Dawn Blend is older by 5 years, she explained, a touch of pride coming to her features. She actually just got her cutie mark a few weeks ago. Really? How exciting! Ornate responded honestly. A new mark was always something to celebrate. How did she get it? To this the Pegasus sighed. It's actually quite the funny story, and funny I mean infuriating. She began, for one, I wasn't even at home at the time, visiting some girls from my old dance troupe outside of Camelot, and if missing my foal's big day wasn't enough, she got it by Ed letting her stay up till morning on a school night. Ornate gasped at that. He didn't. He did, Star responded with a firm nod. I suppose I shouldn't complain considering the results, but that didn't keep Ed from getting an earful when Dawn told me the story. She shook her head. Anyway, after putting Moondancer to bed and the two of them ending up stargazing together the whole night, my husband's favorite hobby, until sunrise, and it was time to get ready for school. As it happened, Ed actually fell asleep before his daughter, and she decided to surprise him with breakfast. Oh no, Ornate moaned, thinking she could see why the Pegasus before her was upset. So you used the kitchen by herself? Surprisingly, Stepping Star waved a dismissive hoof. I know what you're thinking, but my Donnie's a responsible filly and didn't make a mess or burn down the house. No, she kept it simple with a couple bowls of cereal. The only appliance she did use that was even remotely damaged is also what got her cutie mark, the espresso machine. She's seen us use it plenty of times and has apparently been paying pretty close attention. But when she finally woke her dad up, it was with, and I quote, the absolute best cup of coffee he's had in ages. Which is quite the compliment coming from my caffeine fiend of a husband. A coffee-making cutie mark, then? Ornate said, trying to imagine what it would look like after simply smiling. I'm sure it's lovely. Stepping Star gave her own smile, though it didn't quite reach her eyes. Yes, it is. Neither my husband nor I have been able to touch the espresso machine ever since. She's been up before us these days making coffee, and she practices so much that Ed's nearly bouncing off the walls by sunset. He's talking about getting her the complete setup for Heartswarming this year. She loves it so much, though I think he's a little infatuated with the idea of getting lattes and cappuccinos at home. Oh, I can imagine, Ornate said dreamily. Caramel macchiatos on demand sounds like a dream to me and a nightmare to my blood sugar levels. Both mares giggle, though the Pegasus sounds slightly forced, prompting Ornate to ask, Is something wrong, Stepping Star? It doesn't sound like you're pleased as your husband is about Dawn's special talent. Oh no, I'm very happy my Donnie's found her talent and she's so enthusiastic about it, Star defended. I remember when I discovered my love for ballet when I was a little filly. It was simply magical. I would dedicate every moment I could to practice, bug my mother constantly for lessons. She would always make time for me, the two of us spending hours together. It's something I always dreamed of sharing with my own foals one day. Looks like it's going to stay a dream. It was silent, one mare looking on with empathy while the other stared at her cold tea. I'm a horrible mother, aren't I? I should be overjoyed that my daughter's found her mark and loves it, but with little Moondancer showing no interest in ballet either, I find myself brooding. That doesn't make you a bad mother, Ornate started, placing a hoof over the other mares reassuringly. You love your foals deeply and want to share your passions with them. There's nothing wrong with that. Seeing the unconvinced look on Stepping Star's face, Ornate tried a different approach. Think of it like this. From what I've gathered, your husband probably loves astronomy, right? Stepping Star blinks a few times in confusion, but answers, yes, he even owns his own shop and he sells his custom telescopes from. And you love ballet. Does the fact that you don't share the same interests make the two of you love or enjoy each other's company any less? Pulling her hoof away, she looks offended. Of course not. Then it wouldn't be any different with your daughters, Ornate concluded matter-of-factly. I'm sure your girls would learn to appreciate your dancing just like you'll appreciate Dawn's coffee-making talents and whatever amazing talent Moondancer discovers. For a few moments, Stepping Star finally began to smile again, and the two shared in the air of understanding. It was like this all but 10 seconds when Ornate gave herself a mental pat on the back when her companion blushed and her smile dropped. I can't believe I just unloaded on you like that, and we barely know each other. I am so sorry, Ornate. It's okay, the pink unicorn told her, but Stepping Star shook her head. No, I really mean it. I grew up in a small town where every pony knows one another, but I know Canterlot's not like that, and I don't want to make you uncomfortable practically being a stranger and opening up to you like that, and... Star? Ornate interrupted. It's okay, really. Don't let the house fool you. I'm not some stuffy noble without empathy. I came from a very close, crazy family that was very big on the touchy-feely stuff. Really, I'm sort of honored you're comfortable enough to share your worries with me like that. It's kind of like we're sisters or something. You really aren't bothered by it? The Pegasus hesitantly asked. Not a bit, Ornate insisted, getting her new friend to heave a sigh of relief and slump over. Oh, thank goodness. For a second there I thought I just went and made things weird with the mother of Moondancer's first best friend. Would have made any future playdates and birthday parties awkward as all get out. Ornate had a playful eye roll as she stood up. Speaking of playdates, I think I promised our daughters some healthy snacks a while ago, and I'm sure they're well over halfway through their books by now. Why don't you help me make a plate? Looking nervous, Star's eyes darted frequently as she tapped her hoofs together. I don't know. I told you how horrible I am in the kitchen, and I wouldn't want to ruin anything. I highly doubt you'll be able to ruin this, Ornate responded. Come on, consider it a lesson in basic cooking. Lesson 1, peeling carrots and slicing cucumbers. Standing, the peach-yellow mare's wings twitched nervously, but she still smiled. Alright, that sounds easy enough. Let's give it a try. What's the worst that could happen? Ornate got the strangest premonition that perhaps she could keep the Pegasus away from the kitchen after all, but she pushed it away. 'Cause really, what's the worst that could happen? Moondancer and I were just finishing up the book she had brought. What do ponies do all day? When our mothers came bursting through the door, looking tired but triumphant, as she held a platter over their heads between them. Snacks are here! Mom declares, levitating the plate from their hosts to set it between us. We made them special for the two of you. Looking from the plate to her mother, Moondancer asked, You helped make this? When the mare nodded, smiling widely, Moondancer followed up with, Is it safe? Examining the plate myself, I did notice that half the cucumber sticks were the texture of gnarled oak, and some of the cucumber slices are a bit mushy, but overall I didn't see the problem. Veggies are veggies. They're all pale in comparison to sweets no matter the shape. Moondancer has a higher standard, however, as she gives the plate a worried glare until her mother says, Of course they are. That's the best of all the batches, just for my little scholar. 2 bushels of carrots and 5 cucumbers, Mom says. But we finally got enough to fill a plate. Persuaded enough not to fear for her life, Moondancer leans down and grabs a green slice in her mouth before slowly drawing it in as she chews. Stepping Star waits with bated breath, eyes staring wide at her daughter until she finally gives a surprised smile. It's good! Leaping into the air with a cheer and flutter of her wings, Star exclaims, I knew you'd like it! Oh, Ed is going to be so surprised when I offer to cut up the vegetables for the stew tonight. Maybe I even bring the pot to a boil. Full steps, Stepping Star, full steps, Mother says, placing a hole in the other mare's withers and pushing her back to the floor. We don't want to bother the fire department tonight, do we? I guess you're right. The Pegasus responds with a yawn. The exhaustion's got me a little loopy, I think. Kitchen work is hard. That it is, Mom agrees. How about we go rest in the parlor for a bit, When Star agrees, Mom looks back at us. Do the two of you need anything else? No, we're good, I answer, pulling my head away from the proffered carrot stick Moondancer offered, getting her to shrug and stick it between her lips. We're going to finish this book and read mine. Then I think we're going to show Moondancer the garden. Mother beams at that, always happy to have her hard work appreciated. Okay then, sweetie. Just come tell me when you're ready and we'll go outside together. Maybe we'll have a light lunch while we're at it. As the mare leaves, I remember something Mooney and I had discussed earlier and called out, Wait! When they turn around curiously, I continue, Moondancer and I were talking and we were wondering, can she and I trade dresses? What? See, I just think her tutu is really cute, but she thinks it's itchy, and I don't think any of my dresses are, so why not switch? I get something blue and she gets something comfier. Win-win. While Mom ponders this, Stepping Star looks a bit hurt. Do you really not like your tutu, Moondancer? She asks, which gives her daughter to look down with a guilty blush. Even still, she nods, and her mom looks on with a few more seconds before sighing. Well, tutus get pretty itchy. If Ornate agrees, I don't see why the two of you can't trade, saying with a smile. Moondancer looks surprised, but still gives a hopeful one of her own. They are about the same size, offers my mom, mulling it over for a few seconds more before giving her consent. Okay then, we can look through your dresses before we leave. I've been meaning to get you something to contrast your eyes instead of matching them for your next birthday, so this might be wonderful. Much to everybody's surprise, Moondancer runs forward and hugs her mom's leg. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you! Why, you're welcome, dear, Star finally says, smiling fondly and rubbing the top of her daughter's head. Really, you should be thanking your friend and Ornate. Quickly throwing a couple of thank yous our way, she returns to the book. The filly snuggles close, still beaming, and grabs another carrot stick, because the absolute picture of contentment. I can't help but feel the same as our mothers leave and we happily return to reading. I dare say I'm a natural at this hosting thing. My guest is in soaring spirits and I barely even know what I did.